It's the middle of the night here in Singapore. Yeah. We've got an early flight out of here to Bangkok. Just came from Manila tonight. And we've got like a 7-hour wait. But there's an episode that I've been really looking forward to putting together for you. And that's the one about the chrome plating. I actually kind of promised it about a year ago. Just got a message from my wife. She has landed safely in Thailand with this huge box that I sent with her containing 3 old Chevy grills. And if you'll subscribe and get the notifications here, coming up I'm going to do an episode on how to get your chrome plating done for your old car for probably about 10% of what it normally costs. Well, there's a bunch of options that I've discovered over the years in order to be able to afford the chrome plating that makes your car look really sharp. I guess the first option is you just remove it all or paint over it, right? But I like the chrome. My 29 Dodge, what I did then was probably close to 50 years ago, 40 some years ago. I ground the bumpers and any chrome parts myself. In fact, the bumpers, I ground them with an angle grinder to get the pits out of the rust pits. It was quite deeply rusted. I mean, the car was so old, right? It's been sitting out in the weather all those years. And then sanded it with probably a flap disc, I suppose. I don't know if they had them then. But then sanded it down from, a coarse grit to fine grit to really fine. I suppose ended up something with like 600 probably to make it really smooth. When you're done that, it actually looks like it's chrome plated already. And then you want to quickly wrap it up to take it to the chrome plater so that, like with cellophane or something like that, saran wrap, yeah, that kind of stuff, so that it doesn't rust. So I got a really good job done on that car that way. I'm really pleased with it. It's been shiny and good ever since for another 40, 50 years. But what you find is that the prices are going up so high because of the labor costs, right? If you're doing it in North America, the US or Canada. And not only that, but the restrictions on chemicals they can use and that kind of stuff, it's getting ridiculous. Where over here where I'm at, you can just do anything with anything. And so we've been bringing stuff to Thailand probably for the last 30 years, I guess, to get it chrome plated. When I come over, I'll just bring a bunch of hardware in my suitcase, and take it to the chrome plater and get it done for, well, peanuts, really. A good example is this grills off of these 3 cars, the 46 Chev Fleetline, or Fleetmaster Coupe, and then the 51 Chev two-door hardtop, and the 49 Chev Fleetline. Basically what I did is I took the chrome pieces, which you have to do anyway, take them off of the frames, right, undo all the rivets, and separate them. This is probably the warmest day we're going to have in, I don't know, this winter. Hasn't snowed here yet. So the deal is, I want to pull the grill out of this car, and then the 51 Chevy that's back there, and then the grill off the 49 Chevy that's in the garage there. Then I'm going to bundle them up and send them to Thailand with my wife. She goes to Thailand in about a month, I think. The only problem is this top part here is actually pot metal, this strip, the kind of the mustache looking thing. And so they won't chrome plate that in Thailand. They used to, but she said they've had so many bad jobs, failed jobs, that they stopped doing it. And I can understand that. So now when you take anything into the chrome platers in Thailand, the guy has a magnet in his hand and he makes sure everything's magnetic. If it's not magnetic, they won't touch it. And bumpers, I'll just buy new bumpers. That's the way to go. then to do it in a place like Thailand, you want to repair everything that you can. And to do that, I mean, you're taking dents out, you may be doing some welding, maybe some TIG welding or whatever, unless you got a torch. Which most people don't now, but you can weld if you're really careful. Be careful though, because you don't want to shrink it, and you need to get started, and then it moves a little bit more and makes another little pit, and it keeps going. So basically you want to build some dollies, right, that fit the shapes and of the inside or the outside of the chrome pieces, and use them as an anvil or as a hammer, whatever, to bring those humps and bumps out and make sure that everything's straight. And so it takes some time to do that. Now if you do it in North America, they'll do that for you, but you'll get charged like big time for that. So I took these 3 grills and put them in a big box, you know, straightened them out as good as I could, put them in a big box, and sent them over to Thailand with my wife. And getting on to, well, it was WestJet that we took, we flew over there, she flew over there with, and they just counted as oversized baggage, but not overweight, so you don't, there's no charge for it, right? It's just like you're taking a surfboard or something like that. And then coming back though, the Asian airlines didn't understand that deal, so they charged her, I think, $200 US to carry this oversized box back to Canada. So over there, we took it to the chrome plater. I had my daughter take it in and give it to this lady that I've done a lot of work there before. Oh, right. Don't leave your wife unattended, they say. Okay, so we take these 3 grills, right, to this chrome plater, and I think they sandblast it is what they do. And the grill from the 46 Chevy had so much rust on it that it actually blasted right through in some places. And so the lady sent me an email and said, you know, we can't do this one, it's got holes right through it. And so I asked her, I said, well, can you find a welding shop that could weld that up, you know? And she couldn't do that. So I had one of our guys come and pick it up, take it to a welding shop. They actually brazed it, which is a good idea. And you got clean metal, you can put braze, I mean, you can build up with the brazing rod, right? And then they ground it and, you know, sanded it and all that kind of stuff. And it looks pretty good. So those 3 grills turned out to be about 600 Canadian, so we're talking about 4 something US for all 3 of them. Whereas in Canada, they're probably going to be $3,000 each. In fact, the 42 Chev, I know a guy who just got one done like 3 or 4 years ago, and it was $2,500, and they just about didn't let him have it back. He had to fight for it. They won't do it for that anymore. So this, because of the labor costs, this kind of stuff is going up like crazy. The lady put the email pictures in with this package, and she printed the picture of Mr. Smiley sitting in the snow. I sent her a picture, showed her how cold it was.
Yeah, it's got to chat.
Yeah. They do it. Look, you can see a little bit of sanding marks in there usually. They don't quite do it as fine as you guys are doing.
Well, it's still good. Yeah, this will look out this side.
So, but normally, most of the stuff in the car, I can just take it in the suitcase, right? A fairly big suitcase, and I bring a lot of material back for the upholstery and that kind of stuff as well, and rubber for all of the ceiling and that kind of stuff as well, and floor mats, and just a lot of good stuff you can get in Chinatown. But this chrome plater, it's actually probably the third one that I've used in our province in Thailand. It's Chonburi province. The provinces actually have the same name as the capital city of the province. All the provinces of Thailand are like that. So Chonburi is where we live. We're just south of Bangkok on the eastern seaboard. The Chonburi city is actually about 50 kilometers from the airport in Bangkok, so really easy to get to. And we live about another 20 kilometers past that. So I found this chrome plater a few years ago because they had this huge sign over top of the building that says, "We chrome plate any kind of metal." And I'm like, yes, I need that. I got a lot of pot metal stuff. So I took some pot metal in and they said, no, we can't do that. I'm like, oh, how come? They said, well, we blow it so many times and, then you're in trouble. Like, people want money for you wrecking their part and all that kind of stuff. They said, we just don't do it anymore. I said, okay. So the one piece, the kind of the mustache looking piece that goes over top of the grill on the 46, I had that done in Calgary, Canada. So I'm on my way down to Alberta Plating. So let's see what the price is. And so they fix stuff, and that's a big difference between the Thailand process, which is you drop it off, we'll grind it, we'll sand it, whatever's there, we're just going to chrome plate it. We're not going to fix anything. No dents, no holes, nothing. So you got to do that fixing yourself. But these guys will actually fix stuff for you now. This is pot metal, and they won't do it in Thailand anymore. They used to, but they've had so much difficulty with it, and obviously it is a difficult thing. So these guys will have to grind the pits out of it, which actually leaves holes, and then you have to fill it with, what do they fill it with? Copper first, I think. And they layer it up and then sand it down. So I'm not expecting this to be cheap. And let's see if 2, 3, 4 pieces, I've got 4 pieces. Only one of them's long from the grill. Let's see if we can get these 4 pieces done cheaper than the dozen pieces we got done in Thailand for 600 Canadian. Yeah, let's see that. Well, stormy out here today, but I am at Alberta Plating and going to pick up the last few chrome pieces for the 46 Chev. And it cost me $1,300, whereas I got 3 grills for $600 in Thailand. Mind you, the pot metal, there's a lot more to it, and they did a really good job. So, they've got to build it up several times. The chrome plating in Thailand is basically, you're not going to get copper plated first or anything like that. You're just going to get sanded, and then you got to make sure that the scratch marks are out too. We've had to send some back and say, no, you need to sand it better than that. And then they just chrome plate it once, and that's what you got. And it's thin, so it's fine as long as you don't disturb that. I tried to take a dent out of one that was already chromed here from that bunch, and it actually splintered the chrome plating. It's kind of splinters like glass, eh? Then you could start peeling it off, right? So you got to be really careful that you've got everything the way you want it before you chrome plate it. But the lady will take the stuff, and then she insists on sending a price after. She doesn't want to price it right there. I guess they need time to go over it or whatever, have a good look at it. And then she'll take a photo of each piece, then email it to me with the price in Thai baht. And it's like, it's so cheap. And I've never said, no, can you give me a better deal? And so it takes them like no time, and they've got it all done. You go down and pick it up. I bet I've carried stuff back and forth probably 20 times, for different vehicles I've done. It's really just so handy. And again, you get nice looking chrome on your bling on your car, right? Which is, I really like that. Meanwhile, let's take a drive down to Chonburi City. I've got some bearing seals that I've ordered. They've come in at the bearing supply place. And then we're going to swing around to the chrome shop and drop off some pieces to get them chrome plated.
But here's the big SKF shop, and they've got opportunity for me to order whatever I need. So I need these seals for my 29 Dodge, and it's taken them 3 months to get them. I love this shop because it's got every kind of tool you can imagine and every part for fixing tools. All right, we'll just pull in here. Please wear a face mask before entering. One thing about this guy, he was really scared before when I came here. You couldn't even go in. There was just a rope across here. All right, there we are. Two 180.049 SKF seals from Japan. Took 3 months. So I ordered these seals, grease seals, for the inner seals for my 29 Dodge front axle. They used to have a surplus of them somewhere, and nobody uses them. They're very rare. So I used to get them for just a couple bucks each back in the day. But now they're just so expensive because now they're a specialty item. So the seal on Amazon is $67 US. And so I've got 2 of them here for like less than 20 bucks US. And plus there will be shipping on this. I've seen them for like $125 in Australia, plus however much shipping. Canada's about the same. So it's really worth getting this. But that's the thing with hot rodding. You want to be able to think ahead and get good deals. As if you're buying stuff at spur of the moment, you always pay way more, and you pay a lot more in shipping, especially if you're from someplace obscure like Canada or Australia. You guys in the US, you got it pretty good. You know, it's probably the biggest market for hot rod parts and that kind of thing. This, I think we better find a cold drink or something. It's hot out here and humid and stinky, and I'm the only guy in the city that doesn't have air conditioning. We plate every kind of metal. They don't even have a storefront.ไม่มีอะไรมากรถโบราณ
อ๋อโอเคฝั่งนี้เลยก็ได้ครับ
ครับเดี๋ยวต้อง
โอ้พูดไทยชัดเลยเนาะ
ครับผม อยู่มานานแล้ว
นานแล้ว
40 ปีแล้วครับ
โอ้ชัดเลยฮะอยู่แถวไหนมิสเตอร์
อยู่ศรีราชา
มารับงานเองหรือว่า
ครับมารับเอง แล้วก็ประมาณวันที่เท่าไหร่ดี
ถ่ายรูปไว้
เดี๋ยวหนูส่งอีเมลไปให้ก็ได้
ทุกชนิด
แล้วเราก็จะเอาสกอตไบรท์ที่เป็นลูกกลมๆลองดูถ้ามันเป็นสีมันจะเป็นสีถ้าเหล็กก็จะขาวแต่ว่าถ้า
Hard smile. So, you know, if you want some instruction or pointers or addresses or anything like that, just leave a message in the comments and I'll get back to you. I can help you find the place. Like I say, it's 50 kilometers from the Bangkok airport. Hotels around there are cheap. There's not a lot of nice places to stay. We live another probably 20 kilometers beyond Chonburi City. That's all on the coast. It's the eastern seaboard. It's all industrial there, that area. So it's manufacturing, a lot of auto manufacturers and appliances and a lot of computer stuff, motorcycles, the Triumph factories there. There's a Harley Davidson factory there. It's a very fascinating area.
Besides, you can always make a trip to Chinatown, and you get all kinds of like rubber strips, and well, man, I mean, it's quite amazing the stuff you get there. That's where I get all my material for upholstery, and all of the rubber matting and all of the ceiling rubber and all that kind of stuff. Kind of just fun doing that, right? And you can find some real treasures, like old stuff. And another thing I've done is in Chinatown, I'll buy these lights. They're off of like an Isuzu truck or something. They're just third-party things. They're kind of cheap things. They're sort of chrome-plated, but they're not nicely done. And I'll take them home and cut off all the brackets and everything and make a proper arm for it, right? A stand for them. And then fill the holes and everything, and then get those chrome-plated. Get the glass if it's like for tail lights, which I've made a bunch of those. And I made a bunch of fog lights. It's kind of fun. So you just paint the glass with that stuff you get from the craft store for painting glass. And the stuff on my 29 Dodge has been on there for 5 or 6 years, and it hasn't faded or anything. So it's great. Those look really nice too. So I've made some of those just to try and earn a buck, you know, kind of offset some of the cost of this stuff. So besides the cost of the chrome plating, of course, you're going to need to buy an airplane ticket. And like from anywhere on the west coast of Canada or the U.S., it's probably going to be $1,200 Canadian. You can get it for under $1,000 US round trip, and then you know a little bit of expense here and there. But it's kind of fun too, you know. Like spend some time, do a little touring around. You go up into the mountains in the north. It's great up there. A lot of cool things to see. Go ride an elephant. I can hook you up with all of that anyway if you want. We actually have one of my daughters built a house in the village in Chiang Rai province that has all of the elephants in it, and it's just a great place to go for a ride. You got a lot of nice little resorts up there, coffee shops along the road, you know, and there's waterfalls and rivers and stuff. It's very cool. So yeah, one more thing. I think I'm not the guy that likes to travel at all. I would never travel if I wasn't kind of forced to or required to for our work, for the work that we do. So I don't get a kick out of that, but I've learned that I can do it by putting one foot in front of the other. You know, book something online, figure out if you need a tourist visa or whatever. Thailand, you don't. You just come in. They'll give you 60 days as you come through the airport. And you can always extend that another 30 days. But it's just so simple and so easy nowadays anyway. And even the countries that do require a visa, pretty well all of them you can just apply for it online on their websites, which is really handy. So I travel to like Burma and Pakistan and Sri Lanka and India, and because I need to go, I want to be there, and the only reason I travel is to get there, right? So it's not like this is fun for me, but especially sitting here in the middle of the night. But it does stretch us, right? And that's one thing I want to encourage you to try some new things, right? Like, don't be afraid to get out of the box and do something, go somewhere you've never gone before. And this kind of thing is kind of fun because it's got a purpose to it, right? You go with a bunch of grill parts or whatever, all the parts off your car, and you come home with it all chrome plated. I mean, wouldn't that be cool? What a story you can tell your buddies, eh? And that's one of the advantages of it, you know, like no traveling and no doing anything new makes Jack a dull boy, I tell you what. But because we're always stretch and do something new, not only that, but we make a lot of amazing friends, and I mean, personally, we have awesome friends all across Asia and all of these countries, so that's a real help too. And I'm willing to be your friend if you need a friend in Thailand, because we've lived here for 40 some years and can get around really well, know where everything is, and yeah, raised our family here, and some of my kids are still here in Thailand, and so we just come and go basically, maybe 7-8 months in Thailand and then the rest in Canada working on car projects. So it'll be another few months before I get back and finish that Cherry Red project. It's got like 2 days of work, and then it's going to be on the road. I'm really excited about that. It's going to be so much fun. But I want to do it up like, you know, don't start it and run it until, I mean, it starts and runs, but don't put it on the road until you've got everything done, because then you get onto something else and you won't get it finished, right? There'll be all these little odds and ends that aren't finished. So I'm determined to finish everything up perfectly. I've got a long list, and once I've done that list, get it registered, and then she's good to drive. And then I'm looking forward to starting on the 46 Chev Fleet Master Sport Coupe. That one's going to be a lot of fun. I got a lot of stuff already prepared for that. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. I might just kind of curl up in the corner here for a little while, set my alarm clock so that I don't miss my flight. And yeah, see you when I see you.